show you a tweet by Jesse Brown of the list of terrorist incidents in Canada that have been either happened or caught and nipped in the bud before they're happened. Each one of these cases listed by Jesse Brown is a foreign-born Islamic terrorist brought here through mass immigration. But look at how they're described. I'm going to show you a bunch of headlines. I'm going to read a bunch of them to you. Most of the time it's Calgary man, Toronto man. Here's one. Terrorism plots from Canadian residents since October 7th. So this is Jesse Brown's list. Toronto resident arrested for plotting to slaughter New York Jews. I guess it is accurate that he's a Toronto resident, but it really doesn't tell you the key characteristic of him, does it? Here's the next one. Niagara Falls man charged with making and possessing explosives. Those Niagara Falls men, what will they do next, eh? Here's the next one. Toronto youth charged with alleged ties to terrorist group. Those Toronto youths, they're so frisky. Canadian father and son arrested in ISIS plot. Well, there at least they tell you that it's an ISIS plot, not that they were brought over very recently and had actually apparently dismembered someone in a terrorist attack overseas. The next one, Canadian man travels overseas to commit terror attack in Israel. I suppose he did come from Canada, but I don't think Canadian man truly expresses his identity. Terrorism charges against Edmonton man after firebomb attack on City Hall. Yeah, you know what? They sure did try and downplay the terroristic nature of this, and even in the headline, it's just those Edmonton men, go Oilers, right? Ottawa youth arrested on terrorism charges, bomb plot against Jews. If you didn't know, if you didn't have the against Jews part in there, you wouldn't know that they're not just Ottawa men. I could go on. That's Jesse's list. There's more, and I know there's more because there's things that are not reported, let alone charged. The arson against the Jewish school buses, the arson against the Jewish schools, the shooting of the Jewish girls' school. All of these are things I personally reported on with my own camera. None of them are on the list because none of them they've had any arrests or any charges. It's nuts. We have learned nothing since 9/11. But Trudeau is bringing in thousands of people from Gaza. But I got a question for you. And just think it through. I mean, have you ever had a background check? I'm sure you have. Have you ever applied for a job and people phone your references and maybe check, did you actually get a university degree or a college diploma? Did you actually, so imagine doing a background check on someone from Gaza. How would you do it? Because in Gaza, the police work for Hamas. The employers, you might call, any institution, a hospital, a school, they work for Hamas. The people chosen in Gaza to go to Canada, Canada's not saying we're going to choose these people. The people are vetted and chosen by the Gaza side. The people coming to Canada are the ones that Hamas want to come to Canada. How would you vet them? Who would you call? I remember when I got myself fingerprinted for the first time in my life when I applied for a kind of higher security border pass called a Nexus card. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's a way to move between Canada and the United States a little bit quicker. They have a slightly faster line at the airport. And, you know, it's probably saves me 15 minutes every time I travel. They fingerprinted me. They phoned a bunch of my friends and family. I had to fill out forms and be grilled for an hour. You know, right, that we don't have interviews with any immigrants anymore face to face. And we certainly don't have immigrants from these people, have interviews with these people from Hamas. How do you even, how would you screen someone coming from Gaza? How would you? You couldn't, and we're not. But look at this. Look at this from the Palestinian ambassador to Canada. Her name is Mona Abu Amara, and this is from her Facebook page. I just went there this morning and saw it with my own eyes. Mona Abu Amara has a post saying, education is resistance. Education is resilience. What do you mean by education is resistance? Resisting against whom? Well, you know against whom because they tell you against whom. Let me read her message. She says on Facebook, important announcement for Gaza Strip students in Canada. Based on the instructions of the Palestinian Ministry of Education and Higher Education, regarding school students who left the Gaza Strip after the Israeli aggression on the Gaza Strip, we hope from our dear students from all educational stages and currently in Canada to register their statement as soon as possible through the electronic platform launched by the Ministry of Education to facilitate distance learning in light of the current circumstances, making it easier for students to join virtual schools. Students and parents can register through the online platform by clicking on the link below. Really. So these people are coming to Canada. Trudeau says, welcome home. I hate how he does that. They don't speak English. They don't have transferable skills. They're culturally not a fit. Their own neighbors, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, don't want them. Trudeau will take them. And they're being told, don't integrate into Canada, don't learn English, don't go to school there. Keep coming to the Hamas schools run by Hamas. Gaza is the most anti-Semitic place on the earth since Nazi Germany, I suppose, because of their education system, because of their schools, because of their textbooks. They are explicitly Jew-hating curricula. And as we've discovered over the last year, every Palestinian school in the Gaza Strip actually serves as a cover, a human shield to a military tunnel. You couldn't go to those schools without seeing the Hamas soldiers and terrorists, I don't know why I call them soldiers, they're terrorists, going in and out. And during their summer or winter holidays, the camps that they have, like the Boy Scouts, they're not just playing soccer or football, they're doing how to kill a Jew games. They're doing skits and sketches, training them. They march with pretend guns. The TV shows for children. Gaza has their version of Sesame Street, teaching kids to murder Jews. Here, take a look at some of them.
محمد سمعنا القصيدة. يا قدس أفديك بدمي وبروحي بروحي وبدمي سأحررك من عيد اليهود بعيد القسام أكيد أبشر أسرانا أن الفرج قريب.
طب شو حابب تصير لما تكبر يا محمد؟
قسامي.
قسامي. طيب وانت يا زكريا شو حابب تصير لما تكبر؟ مهندس؟ ليش بدك تصير مهندس؟
عشان أفجر اليهود.
That's why you have the kind of maniacal hatred in Gaza today. That's why when the Hamas terrorists broke into Israel last October 7th and massacred, it wasn't just the terrorists. Ordinary Gazans came with them. Some Gaza civilians came with them too and brought back Jewish prisoners, hostages too. It is the most anti-Semitic place in the world because it has been its own Hamas mini country since 2005. For 19 years, they have trained young people to be anti-Semitic. So if you were born in 2005, your entire life has been inculcated and marinated in anti-Semitic hatred. Trudeau's bringing these people to Canada. It's insane. But now the Palestinian ambassador is saying, kids, don't forget to get your dose of Hamas hatred. It's absolute madness. And I would like you to go and sign our petition against this at nogazarefugees.com. Although I do know that Justin Trudeau, I don't know how much time he has left, a month, a year and a half at most. He's going to do his best to cram through as many Gazans and other refugees as he can.